So, I welcome you all to this lecture. Let us start the last chapter, that is chapter 6, and it is what computational physics. So, computational physics is the study and implementation of numerical analysis which are used to solve the problems in physics. So, it is nothing but the mathematical analysis of any problem that is related with the physics. So, in this chapter, initially, I am going to explain you the two terms. The first term is error, and I think you are familiar with this term. You already learned this term in last year. So, I am going to explain you the definition itself. What is error? Error is nothing but the difference between the true value and approximate value. That is what error. The next term is what accuracy. Accuracy is what? Closeness to the exact value. So initially in this chapter there are some theoretical part, that is what is meant by error, types of error. So I am not going to explain those part here because you are familiar with this, and hence I am moving towards the next point, and that is what? Iterative methods. So let us start with iterative methods. Okay, so iterative method means what? It begins with the initial guesses. The method begins with the initial guesses. That means what? Approximation of roots, which is corrected iteration by iteration, and the process stops when the desired level of accuracy is occurred. Get it this? That means we have to follow step by step. We have to go step by step to obtain the accuracy of our result. Okay, and to achieve this we are going to use the method that is known as iterative method. Okay, when the desired level of accuracy is obtained, then this method is stopped. So let us take the examples of this iterative method, and that is what? Types of iteration methods. So basically, broadly it is divided to two types: bracketing method or open end method. So bracketing method is also known as interpolation, and open end method is also known as extrapolation method. This bracketing method is divided into two types: bisection method and false position method, whereas the open end method is divided into these different types. That is what? Newton-Raphson method, secant method, Mueller's method, fixed point method, and Weierstrass method. So let us start with the bisection method. So let us start with the bisection method. So initially I am going to explain you this method in generalized form. This is a simple and reliable method. It is also known as half interval method. This method is based on the theorem: if the function f of x is continuous between x0 and x1, and if f of x0 and f of x1 are of opposite sign, that is f of x0 into f of x1 is less than 0, then there is at least one root between x0 and x1. So this is the diagrammatical presentation of this theorem. This gives you the interpolation of intermediate value. These are the roots of f of x, and this root which lies between these two roots, that is x0 and x1, and this is known as interval AB at the point x0 and x1. Let us begin by considering 2 points which enclose root. F of function fx is equal to 0 at x is equal to x0 and x is equal to x1, then x0 and x1 are the roots of function fx. So let us select 2 points x0 and x1 which are encloses root, that is x2 is lies between x0 and x1, which is given here. See, the root x2 is lies between the values x0 and x1, and this is known as interval AB. This is the interval AB. x2 is lies exactly at the center of x0 and x1. function fx is negative when x is equal to x0 and it is positive when x is equal to x1. Thus we conclude that function of fx x0 and f of x1 have opposite sign if the root lies between x0 and x1. That means what? F of x0 into f of x1 is less than 0 because one of the root is negative and the product of them must be negative. Hence the values of the product is less than 0. So the root of this function lies between x0 and x1, which is given here. The root lies between x0 and x1, that is what? x2. Okay, this is the interval AB. Let us assume another midpoint x2. So x2 is equal to what? x0 plus x1 by 2. That means what? As shown in figure, x2 lies at the center of x0 and x1. Thus we conclude that point x2 divides the interval in half. So from figure 2 we must say f of x0 and f of x2 have opposite signs. Hence the root lies between x0 and x2. Now new interval is x0 and x2. See, we are going to take the new interval, that is what? x0 and x2. So this is your new interval and it is defined by the values a and c, bracket a and c. Okay. So we further divide the new interval into two halves with the interval a and c, which is I explained you already. Let us consider the next point will be x3 and it is given by x0 plus x2 divided by 2. That means what? The new value is also exactly divides this interval at the center. That means we get the two same interval by using the new value, that is what? x3. Again f of x3 and f of x2 have opposite sign. Hence the root lies between x3 and x2. Hence we get the new interval and that is what? x3, x2. This method continues until we get new interval which contains the smallest root. If the small error E is allowed between the actual value and approximate value of the root, then number of steps required are given by the formula n greater than or equal to log of x1 minus x0 minus log E is what? Error, which is defined earlier, divided by log of 2, where n, this one, n is equal to number of steps of number of iteration that required. x1, x0 is the interval taken. So this is a generalized formula which is used to calculate the number of steps of number of iteration that we required. So this is what mathematical explanation, that is not our aim. Okay. What is our aim in this chapter? We have to write a C language formula by using this explanation. So you are familiar with this explanation. By considering this, I am moving forward with the algorithm. So what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm is what? Step by step explanation of your program. Okay. So what you are going to do in your program, C program, that can be written by using the English like languages with different steps. So initially I am going to explain you this algorithm. So as I explain you in bisection method, what is your initial step? The initial step is the interval x0, x1 and the error small e. So hence in this algorithm our step 1 must be to read the interval x0 and x1. So you require this value, hence you have to read this value, that is what? x0 and x1, and you must know the permission error e. That means how much smallest error can be sustained by your problem, that E must be read. Okay, once you obtain this, your step 2 is what? To calculate the number of steps or iteration. I just told you this formula, Okay, so by using this formula you can calculate the number of iterations or number of steps that you require to solve your problem. So this is the formula. In step 3 you have to calculate the midpoint. You know that in 2 iteration your root lies at the center. Okay, so that midpoint is required to calculate. And what is that? X2 is equal to x0 plus x1 divided by 2. This is the midpoint x2 which lies between x0 and x1. Get it this? Okay. Now in step 4, what is the requirement? To calculate the function x with for the different values of x0, x1 and x2. Hence, to calculate f of x0 at x is equal to x0, you obtain the function f of x0 by using the value or root x0. Similarly, you can calculate the functions f of x1, f of x2 by using the values or root x1 and x2. So this is your step 4 to calculate the different function with different roots. Okay. In step 5, I am going to apply the conditions. Okay. So what is the condition? Where your root lies exactly, that you have to find out. So in step, let us see the step 5. If f of x0 into f of x2 is less than 0, then the root lies between x0 and x2, then you must replace x1 by x2. Get it this? Okay. The second condition is like this. If f of x1 into f of x2 is less than 0, then the root lies between x1 and x2. Okay. Then you have to replace x0 by x2. So here you must write this condition. You must understand this condition. Okay. Now let us move towards the next step. And the next step is what? Repeat the steps 0, 3 to 0, 5 until the number of iterations are completed, because initially you calculate the value of small n. Hence you know how many steps, how many iterations are there. Hence to achieve this you have to repeat the steps from 3rd to 5. Okay, once you obtain this, you have to move towards the next step, and that is what? Step 7. That is what? Approximate value is equal to the center point of latest interval. Okay, what is the value you find in after step C? That is what? Your latest interval. Okay, once you obtain your latest interval, you have to print that root. What is the value? You can print it, and in step 9 you have to stop this algorithm because you obtain your destination. Okay. So now once you obtain the algorithm, from the algorithm we have to draw the truth table, flow chart. Okay. What do you mean by flow chart? Flow chart is nothing but step by step or diagrammatical solution of your program or your problem. So this is your flow chart. Okay. So you just recall the algorithm, what we do in algorithm, that represented in diagram. So printf, so this message will be printed on your monitor. Enter an interval whose root is to be found. So you have to enter that values here. Again you have to print, that is you have to on new line the value for x0 can be printed. Scanf, once you type the value, that can be scanned by using this statement. It can be taken in your compiler. Okay, the value is what? x0. Similarly the value of x1, x2. Okay, then the error can be taken or can be printed and taken in your compiler by using these different statements. Now the formula n is equal to log of 10 a base x1 minus x0, it is defined here. This is the formula. Okay, this one is what? The formula which is defined your C programming. Is it? Now n is equal to n plus 1. Okay, the iteration step will be increases by 1. And it should not be fraction. Okay, as it is a step, it is iteration, it should not be what? Fraction. I is equal to what? 0. It is defined there, the value of I is 0. Now the number of iterations can be, this message will be printed on your screen. Okay, you have to put the value of n and that value can be taken in your program. Okay, now let us move. While n is less than 0, okay, so this is the function, this is the condition which is given here with the help of while statement. F of x0 is equal to f of x0, f of x1 is equal to x1, x2 is equal to x0 plus x1 divided by 2. Okay, so these functions are defined with the root x0 and x1, and here the x2 value can be calculated by taking the midpoint of x0 and x1. Okay, once you obtain the x2 value, you can calculate function of x2, okay, with the value of x2 root. Okay, x1 is equal to I plus plus. Now the value of I is increases. Okay, initially it is defined by 0. Once you obtain this, you can increase the value by 1. Okay, now the value of x2 is equal to x1, is it? Okay, if f of x1 is less than 0, then if this condition is true, then x2 is equal to x0. If this condition is not true, then next function is checked, next value is checked. If f of x0 into f of x2 is less than 0, if this statement is true, then x0 is equal to x2. Okay, now the value can be getted here. This is what x is equal to x0 plus x1 minus x0 divided by 2. That means you obtain the root and that root can be printed here. Okay, now this is the function used to calculate the root double fx. So this, why we use this double, because double memory space is required. Okay, and this function is used to calculate the root by using this formula. Once it is calculated, the value is written in this function and your control is goes where the function is called. So in this way the bisection method program can be solved. So let us stop now. In next video I am going to explain you Newton's raphson method, okay, or remaining methods. So let us stop now.